Dragons. Traditionally, they are giant lizard-like creatures who fly and breathe fire. However, in Wings of Fire, things are very different. For one, not all the dragons are as lizard-based. Some more so resemble bugs. Some don't have the ability to fly when they first hatch, and some don't even have fire, the most iconic dragon ability. Though some of the tribes in Wings of Fire might not have fire, they do have powers that level the playing field and make them the iconic tribes we know and love today. The dragons with fire also have some pretty cool side abilities as well. Beyond the tribal abilities, there are also some powers that are specific to dragons, like Flame Scales, where a dragon is constantly on fire, and Leaf Speak, which enables a dragon to speak to trees. Today, we're going to be going over some of the crazy abilities and powers which can be found in the dragon tribes of Wings of Fire. But before we get started, if you are new to this channel, please think about subscribing. I regularly post both Wings of Fire and Warrior Cats content, so you'll never be bored. And to my current subscribers, thank you so much for supporting me. I wouldn't have gone here without y'all. And just a quick note, this video will contain some of my own headcanons. I will disclose where the headcanons are. It's your choice on whether or not you want to accept them into your own version of canon or not, and of course, feel free to share your own in the comments. Without further ado, let's start off with the SandWings. SandWings have a good constitution. They are built for flying long distances over the dunes from oasis to oasis. They can go days without water and eat very little food compared to other dragon tribes. Like most dragon tribes, SandWings have the ability to breathe fire. Their fire has been described as not being the hottest among the other tribes. However, SandWings are constantly radiating with heat. It is unknown why that is the case. SandWings are most recognizable for their tail. Their tails resemble that of scorpions. Dragonettes are taught to be careful about their tails from when they learn how to walk. However, if there are any slip-ups and the dragon accidentally poisons someone, a SandWing's tail venom can be cured with the juices of a dragon flame cactus. The SandWing tribe used to have magic back in the time of Darkstalker. Back then, Jerboa worked for Queen Scorpion. However, Jerboa ran away, taking her magic with her. Though Jerboa 3, her second daughter, is an animus, she's an artificial one and she does not work for the current SandWing Queen. Magic has not reappeared in any other SandWing dragon that we know of, and appears to be a lost trait, for now. Next up, we have the MudWings. MudWings have the thickest scales out of any tribe. They have been compared countless times to alligators because of that, and also because they can hold their breaths for up to an hour, making them great swimmers and perfect to navigate the swamp Superior. MudWings can breathe fire, however they cannot do so if they are cold, which really makes you wonder just what Moorhen and Byrne were thinking when they planned to invade the Ice Kingdom. This isn't really an ability, more so a quirk of their biology and society. MudWings always come in clutches. In a clutch, there's a Big Wings who is the first in the clutch to hatch, and who helps the others in the clutch hatch. The Big Wings is often the largest of the clutch as well. Every dragon in the clutch has a role, not just the Big Wings. There's the healer, navigator, treasurer, and communicator. Members of a clutch stick together for their entire lives, with a few rare exceptions. It has been speculated that the dominant sexuality in the MudWing tribe is not heterosexuality or bisexuality, but asexuality or aromanticism, with anything else beyond that being a deviance from the norm. MudWings who hatch from blood-red eggs are special. They have fireproof scales. These scales can protect them from extreme heat, with clay surviving lava to the scales, which at a minimum was 1300 degrees. MudWings used to destroy their blood-red eggs, fearing that the dragonettes inside them would turn out wrong. However, a dragon named Moccasin noticed that she had a red egg. Instead of destroying it, she decided to run experiments and kept the egg with others in its clutch. She discovered that the dragonette was fireproof and nothing else was strange about the dragonettes, and eventually the practice of destroying blood-red eggs fell out of use. Let's discuss the SkyWings. The SkyWings have the hottest fire out of any of the tribes. They are also the fastest flyers of any tribe. They have the best cold resistance and have good eyesight for picking out prey against the rocky backdrop of the mountains. If a SkyWing has a double yolk egg, or an egg with 2 embryos, then one will have too much fire and the other too little. The one with too much is called the Flame Scales, and the one with too little, fireless. In the SkyWing tribe, any fire-scaled dragons are to be thrown off cliffs. The fireless dragons are likely to die too, but due to natural causes, like sickness from being too cold or not being able to defend themselves from predators. Dragons with fire scales are incredibly powerful. They are immune to frost breath and can melt metal, including weapons. They can burn out poison from dragons' bodies and cauterize wounds, preventing infections. If they swim, they boil the water around them, and any rain that lands on them instantly turns to steam. Fire-scale dragons are not immune to poison and disease. However, they likely have at least some protection from it due to their high internal body temperatures. It is likely that the other dragon tribes who can breathe fire produce fire-scale dragonettes, as it is simply the result of parasitism between twin dragons. It is also possible that a fire-scale dragon could hatch with no siblings, having fully absorbed their twin instead of just absorbing their fire organ. Moving on to other special abilities that have been noted in the tribe, the SkyWing tribe has produced some animus dragons. However, just like the fire skills dragons, any animus dragons discovered were to be killed by throwing them off a cliff. Now it's time for SeaWings. The SeaWings can breathe underwater thanks to their gills. They can also breathe on land. They can withstand pretty high amounts of pressure as they can live at the bottom of the sea. The SeaWings are most recognizable for their bioluminescent scales. These scales can help to blind predators and prey alike. However, SeaWings mostly use them to communicate in a language known as aquatic. Aquatic allows SeaWings to communicate while underwater, meaning that if they wanted to, the entirety of the SeaWing tribe could just move into the sea and just never breathe air again. SeaWings are described as having powerful tails, which could be useful in a fight. The SeaWings have animus magic. Their first known animus dragon was Prince Albatross, who is speculated to maybe have been an IceWing hybrid due to his pale colorization and because animus magic originated in the IceWing tribe. Since Albatross, animus magic has been passed down in the royal family. In the modern day, there have been 3 animus SeaWings: Princess Orca, who is now deceased, Prince Turtle, and Princess Anemone, who is an artificial animus. Speaking of animus dragons, we have the IceWings, but let's talk about their other abilities first. IceWings are resistant to the cold. Whenever they are outside of cold temperatures, their scales feel cold to the touch. IceWings have no fire. Instead, they have frost breath, which instantly freezes and makes ice crystals on anything it touches. Frost breath can cause frostbite. In one strange case, frost breath, when breathed down a fire-breathing dragon's throat, slowly turned her into an ice statue from the inside out. A common headcanon that some people have is that IceWings have an equivalent to fire scales called frost scales. However, that's just a regular IceWings. IceWings are already cool to the touch, and their scales slowly freeze any water that's on them. Anything beyond that would just freeze an IceWing solid, I feel. The IceWings have razor-sharp claws, which helps them stick to ice. All of their scales appear to be pretty sharp and are also highly reflective. The IceWing tribe was the first tribe to have animus magic. They quickly realized how dangerous it was and put rules into place revolving around it. An animus dragon was only allowed to enchant one thing their entire life, and that thing would be a great gift to improve the tribe. Some examples of IceWing animus gifts include the Gift of Healing by Queen Diamond, the Gift of Binding, the Gift of Conflict, and the Gift of Vengeance by Queen Diamond. As you can see, Queen Diamond did more than one enchantment and went against rules for animus dragons. But she's the queen, so what can you do? Just a quick note, not all of her gifts have actual names, so I just gave them names. Yet another headcanon I'm injecting into this video so it's not just me reading out a guide to the Dragon's Aperia for however long this video turns out to be. Since Prince Arctic left the tribe over 2,000 years ago, there have been no recorded new animus dragons. After the IceWings, we have the RainWings. A common misconception about RainWings is that they're able to supplement some of their energy intake by using photosynthesis. While RainWings do like sleeping in the sun and it makes their scales more beautiful and makes them happier, it is not known whether this is photosynthesis or if laying in the sun simply is just better for them, like most lizards in real life. RainWings do not have fire, however, they have acid spit. The books call it venom, but it's literally just acid. This acid can melt through pretty much anything. If it gets into open wounds, it will quickly kill a dragon, but it can be neutralized by using the acid of a related dragon, and metal is resistant to it. RainWings are known for the ability to change their scale color. This can be involuntary, as big emotions can cause a change in scale color. Some dragons just accept it, though, in our open books. Their scales are clear tell of what they are thinking. Some examples of color changes associated with feelings is happiness in pink, fear/pain in white, sadness in blue, and courage and orange. RainWings can suppress the urge to change their scale color according to emotion. When they do so, they also close off their thoughts to any mind readers who may be listening in. A dragon who developed this ability is Glory. RainWings don't just use their scale colors for self-expression, they also use their scales to camouflage and mimic other dragon tribes. This often works, even when it seems downright unbelievable due to how different the other tribe looks. I mean, who would ever mistake a brown RainWing for a MudWing? If a RainWing wanted to, they could probably learn Aquatic because they can use their scale colors similar to the way SeaWings use their bioluminescent scales. In fact, Tsunami used Glory's method of changing scale colors using her own bioluminescent scales in order to confuse an opponent once, so I feel like it could definitely work in reverse, and a RainWing could use their scales for Aquatic. Next up, we have the NightWings. NightWings have the ability to breathe fire. They have black scales, which help them blend into the darkness. They also have very good night vision and are naturally nocturnal. It used to be believed that NightWings had naturally toxic saliva. However, it was discovered that their saliva was not toxic. Instead, it was bacteria infested and passed from parent to child over the ages. Now that the NightWings no longer live on the island, they are trying to stop having bacteria-infested saliva and will hopefully get some mouthwash. The NightWings have not one, but two overpowered abilities relating to the moon. First, some NightWings can read minds. Second, some can see the future. A dragon born under one of Peria's 3 moons has one of the abilities. A dragon born under 2 moons has both. And a dragon born under all 3 has both abilities, and both of the abilities will be incredibly strong. The condition of the moon at the time of hatching also affects the abilities that a NightWing gets. A NightWing born on a cloudy night with a full moon might be able to predict the future better than normal dragons, but not get any visions, or their visions might be unclear. This can be seen in both Whiteout and Fatespeaker. If a seer is born under a blood moon, they can only see bad events. A mind reader born under a blood moon can not only read thoughts, but put thoughts in other dragons' heads as well. The NightWing tribe is one of the 3 tribes which has animus magic in the modern day. They gained animus magic when Arctic and Foeslayer had Darkstalker and Whiteout. Whiteout passed her genes down, and eventually her descendant Stonemover was born as an animus dragon. It is unknown whether Stonemover has any other relatives besides for Sunny, who might be a carrier of the animus gene, so if she ever gets with a dragon, Peria might see new animuses soon. Moving on to the Pantalian tribes, we have the HiveWings. HiveWings have the most diverse set of powers out of every tribe. HiveWings have a broad venom ability that shows up in many unique ways. Some dragons, like Lady Scarab, can release a noxious gas. Others have paralytic venom stingers in their wrists. Queen Wasp has a venom stinger on her tail, which is not to be confused with a SandWings scorpion-like stinger. Some more abilities that have been seen by HiveWings include paralyzing toxin, spraying boiling acid, and shooting poisonous darts. But not every HiveWing has an ability. Cricket, the protagonist of Book 12, does not have an ability. It is unknown exactly how prevalent HiveWings' abilities are in the tribe. HiveWings may or may not have the ability to go without blinking. In the Lost Continent, Blue wonders if they are able to blink, and we never see one blinking beyond that. Of course, HiveWings could be using a transparent eyelid to blink too, and no one's commented on a transparent eyelids thus far. HiveWings are descended from Clearsight, who is a NightWing. Because of that, it is possible that a HiveWing might be able to get the NightWing power of mind reading and or seeing the future. However, due to hybrid dilution of NightWing genes, that might not be the case. HiveWings are also descended from the same tribe as the SilkWings, the Beetlewings. The 2 tribes were not considered separate until only a few centuries ago according to Clearsight's letter. Cricket also once found a book where the HiveWings had antennae. The HiveWings are a really unique tribe, and I hope we get some answers about their abilities soon, whether that be whether they can blink or the exact extent of their venom abilities. It is time for the tribe that's often been slandered as the weakest, the SilkWings. SilkWings are born wingless. They gain their wings through metamorphosis. SilkWings have antennae. These antennae work similar to whiskers, allowing them to navigate and detect objects. They also allow them to sense atmospheric pressure, which helps them to detect storms. That is one of the ways that SilkWings know the rainy season or dry season is coming, aside from using calendars. The SilkWing tribe has the universal ability to produce silk post-metamorphosis. What silk is produced is up to the SilkWing, and the silk can be used for anything, from sewing tapestries to creating vital infrastructure. SilkWing culture revolves around their silk, with dragonettes being taught how to use it even before their metamorphosis. Some SilkWings have a power called Flame Silk. This power is largely genetic. Flame silk is a type of silk that is always on fire and burns anything it touches, besides for other flame silk. Just like regular silk, there are different versions of flame silk, and Luna has described 5 of them. Gold silk is a golden type of silk, which does not burn or provide any sort of light. Firefly silk does provide light but does not burn. Glow silk is warm and glows but does not burn. Blaze silk does burn, and it is a kind that the SilkWings in the Flame Silk factory were forced to produce the most of. The final type of silk is sun silk, which is somehow hot enough to burn through stone, which would make it at least 1,000 degrees hot according to Google. Last but not least, we have the LeafWings. The LeafWings are able to use photosynthesis in order to gain energy. Unlike the RainWings, who have a similar ability, the LeafWings are carnivorous. The LeafWings have one special ability, Leaf Speak. Leaf Speak is a genetic ability. Its strength in a dragon is determined by the strength of their parents' Leaf Speak ability. Breeding programs have been successful in increasing the power of the Leaf Speak ability, with Sundew being its greatest success. It is a common theory in the fandom that the fin at the end of the LeafWing's tail is only present in those with Leaf Speak abilities. Leaf Speak allows a dragon to have control over plants. They can speak to the plants, which allows them to convince a carnivorous plant to let go of a dragon, for example. They can also make plants grow faster by convincing them to grow faster and providing them with enough water. The plants that Leaf Speakers talk to appear to have some level of memory, as they were able to talk about dragons who may have disturbed their leaves, and were able to talk to Sundew about the breath of evil. Because the trees are able to talk and have some level of memory, it is possible that trees and Wings of Fire may have some level of intelligence, or even sentience, but that might be me looking into things a bit too much. And those were all the powers that are confirmed to be in the world of Wings of Fire thus far. If you could have one, which one would you choose? Comment down below. If you liked this video, feel free to subscribe. I make animal fiction videos pretty often, and your support would mean a lot to me. And to those who are already subscribed, thank you so much for your continued support. I wouldn't have gotten here without y'all. Peace, Rogan out.